Hey guys, welcome to Amen Clothing YouTube channel. So this channel has been created to help you create unlimited designs using pattern drafting. So if you want to learn how to sew using patterns to create unlimited design, sure this is the right channel for you. So hit the subscribe button, click the bell notification icon so you get notified whenever I post new videos. So this is actually what this gown looks like. It's called a tie waist gown. This is the rope. Okay, I'm removing some hanging threads around it because I just finished making it. So I'm going to be showing you can tie this rope to different designs of your choice. As you can see, this one is actually different from the picture, the one on the thumbnail. The one I'm tying now is different from the design on the thumbnail. And also there's another way which I'm going to be showing you right now. You can tie it and let it be, the rope will just hang over on the front instead of the back. But then my rope is bulky, so I didn't bother. This design is a no-no for this dress. But if your fabric is light, then you can actually do it. I'm using a thick cotton fabric. That was what I used for this dress, a thick cotton fabric. So please guys, do well to subscribe. Watch this video to the very end. Make sure you like this video and post it to other sewing platforms where it will be needed, okay? And this is what the dress looks like. I'm going to be giving detailed pattern drafting and sewing tutorial of this dress. So you do not want to miss out on any step of it, okay? You don't want to miss out on anyone. You want to watch this video to the very end so you get all the explanations. Okay, so I'm just trying to show you guys what the dress looks like. The down part of it is actually a flare, okay? It's a flare, as you can see. It's come down, it's very nice and it's very beautiful. This is what it looks like on me. And I'm actually loving this dress. Seriously, I am loving every bit of it. I'm loving every bit of this dress. Okay, so without further ado, let's head straight to the pattern drafting. So you'll be needing your basic bodice front, my bust point and your waistline of course, and your waist dart also and your side bust dart. So my neckline is on the basic, and because I'm not going to be attaching any collar, I'm going ahead to deepen it a little bit. So I'm using 1 inch on the shoulder area. I'm marking 1 inch on the shoulder area. And for the deepness also, I went ahead to mark 1 inch. So I'll go ahead to connect those 1 inch marks on the shoulder and the depth of it together like so. So I haven't connected it. I'll be using my scissors to take that part off, and that will be leaving us with the actual neckline that I used for that dress, for this very particular dress. So I haven't done that now. We'll head over to the next thing to do. From my very bust point, at that place where my dart started, I'm going to have to draw a line to stop at the very tip of my waistline. I hope that is understandable. I don't know why the lightening is so much. Okay, can you see it now? So having drawn that line, I'm going ahead to remove my waistline dart. I'm going to have to remove my waist dart, okay? I'm going to have to remove my waist dart. And also I'll be removing, okay, I haven't removed the waist dart. I'm going to have to close it with my masking tape. If you've been watching my tutorials, you should get used to me closing up darts like this. So I'm going to have to close it up. And also the side waist that I removed it and I've closed them up. So I haven't closed them up now. I'll be drawing in my style lines. I'll be drawing in my style lines that I'll be using to slash and spread this pattern, okay? So watch closely where all my style lines are directing to. Like where I'm directing all my style lines to, as you can see, I'm directing that very lower part of the waistline. So that is where I'm directing all my style lines to, okay? So I'm drawing in my style lines, not like so. This is what I'm doing. This is what it looks like. Now go ahead to keep drawing until I'm satisfied with the amount of lines that I'm going to be having. So I'm drawing this in right now. I'll draw this in also from here. And these are the style lines that I've drawn. Right, I had to extend this very particular one like so, that I made it visible more so you can see. So this is what it looks like, my style lines. And then I'll go ahead with my scissors to start cutting up the lines. Cutting two but not through on the lines. So I'm going ahead to be cut on the lines, sorry. I'm going ahead to cut on those very lines that I drew, okay? So I'm going ahead now to open them up like so. So when I'm done cutting, this is what you're going to be having. Done cutting is going to be looking like this, something like this, okay? So after that, next thing we're going to do now is to head straight to a fresh pattern paper on this, okay? So this is what you're going to be having. Okay, just look closely, it's what you're going to be having. Then I went ahead to add a fresh pattern paper to this very particular pattern that I slashed and spreaded. So you just watch clearly what I am doing. You want to be careful so you don't ruin your original pattern. Okay, you want to be very careful so you don't ruin your original pattern. I'm trying to take this up a little so you see it clearly because that's where we're focusing attention on that very waistline area. So that's what I'm doing right now, opening, and then I'll be using my tape to hold it down. As you can see, I didn't measure distance between them, but you do not want to overspread it. You don't want to overspread it. Just spread a little. I think from it, I used like about 1 inch. That very particular first one falls on its own because that's where all that, your waistline and your side bust that has to open. So it opens on its own. It opens up on its own. But the rest I think it was about 1 inch, 1 inch gap. Yes, I think the rest was about 1 inch gap. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to have to add an additional paper to serve as the rope. So understand it clearly, okay? I'm going to have to add another paper that will serve as the rope. So I'll tape it down onto this very one also. So here, this is what it looks like. Then I'll go in my tape to from this um, very last one and the first one. I'm measuring 0.9 inches, I think. 0.7 inches, sorry. Same here, 0.7 inches. And find out why I did that. Okay, watch to the end. You're going to see why I did 0.7 inches on both sides, starting from the very one at the ending and the very one at the beginning. 0.7 inches on both sides. Watch closely on what I do this very particular 0.7 inches. So I'm using my scissors now to get the way the pattern should be before I cut on the fabric. My scissors now to get it to the way it should be before I cut it on the fabric, okay? So this is what it is. As you can see, did you see what I did? That 0.7 inch line, can you see? It has that, how do I put it? It has that kind of edge, the 0.7 inches. I hope that is understandable. I really don't know how to explain this, but I hope you understand what I mean. Like, I had to leave 0.7 inches on both sides for the rope itself, exactly. 0.7 inches on both sides before the rope. You want to put that into consideration because it is very, very necessary. It's very necessary. So I went ahead to smoothen this very part properly. So this is what your front pattern should look like, okay? I'll go ahead to show you very well. So that's the rope area of it, and this is the upper bodies. So we're heading straight to the back. Of course, the back is just simple, nothing is happening. All I did was to go ahead to reduce my neckline from the shoulder so it corresponds with that of the front by 1 inch, okay? And that's just it. After doing that, I'll have to use my scissors to cut it off. Okay. Then secondly, for the back, I had to go in to remove my waist. Those were the two things I did to the back. Okay, those were the two things to the back pattern. And that's just it for the back. Nothing went on at the back. The back is just simple. So that is just it at the back. This is what the back pattern looks like. It's just simple. So let's head straight to sewing. Now for the sewing, which is very, very technical. For the sewing, which is very, very technical, I'm going ahead now to, remember this very two parts, as you can see, is there now. So I'm going ahead to join my two-piece front together. Remember the front has a joining at the center front. So I'm going ahead now to join my front together. Also consider the allowance you used for your center front, okay? So I'm going ahead to join my front together to form a whole piece. So I'm going to have to join my front together to form a whole piece, okay? So having done that, this is what it looks like when you open it up, okay? This is what it's going to look like when you open it up. I haven't ironed it yet. This is what it's going to look like. So for that very part I told you, you want to bring them together like so, okay? You want to bring them together like so, and then you sew. Can you see what I'm doing now? And then you sew from the center all the way to the belt. Let me not see a rope again, please. All the way to the belt. From the center, you sew all the way to the belt. Okay? From the center, we're going to be sewing all the way to the belt. So I'm sewing all the way down to the belt, okay? So I'm all the way down. And just in case if you didn't get it clearly for the first one, I'm going ahead now to show you what I did on the second side of it. You want to take these two parts and join it together like so. And then you go ahead to start sewing. So you want to sew from the center all the way to the belt, okay? And do not worry, I'll show you where you're going to be turning this belt out from because it's at the back. Of course, you're going to be turning the belt to be in front. So after sewing up the belt, I'm going ahead to turn it over now. Please watch closely as I turn the belt over to the front. So we keep going, and that very space at the front area, at the center front, from where you turned to sew, on that very 0.7 inches line, there is a space there. That's where you're going to be turning over from. Do not worry, this is not, it's not something that is difficult to do. Once you're trying it out, you find out that that place is there, it's just there. Once you're trying this out, you're going to find the place. So be careful while turning, in case, just if you have a bulky fabric like mine, you want to be careful while turning it out, okay? Do not worry, I'm also going to be turning out the second one to show you. So here is it for the first one turned. So I'll go ahead also to turn the second one. So I'm going ahead to turn the second one like so. So I'm just turning and trying to turn it all the way to the front. And yeah, I'm done with it. So this is what it looks like, as you can see. This is what it looks like. Okay, this is what you should be having. All right, so let's head straight to joining the front and the back together. Now I'll be using my back to join the front, okay? So it forms a dress, like the way you shape your dress. It's just the normal way you do your dress shaping. After marking your measurements on your front and your back, you go ahead to shaping them just exactly the same way, okay? And for the lower part of it, for joining the lower part of it, there is your waistline there, your waistline allowance which you left will definitely be there even after you're done sewing the belt part of it. So that isn't a problem, is also there. When you're done sewing the belt part of it, your waistline is also there, okay? Including the allowance you left. Depending on the allowance you left, your waistline and the allowance, everything is there, okay? So same thing I'll go ahead to do to the other side. So that is it. I'm going ahead to sew the front and the back together. And I haven't joined them. I'll go ahead to join the shoulders together. Just the basics on how you shapen your dress, on how you shapen your fabric, join front and back together to form a dress, okay? Despite the tie waist is not going to affect anything. I'm just trying to show you so you know that the tie waist does not affect any other procedure which is normal, okay? So I'm going to have to join my shoulders together, the facing and the main bodies. The facing and the main bodies, okay? I hope this tutorial was useful to you. Thank you for being with me and watching till all this while. So this is what we had. Bye. See you in the next one.